The town of Black Hollow sat quietly between two forested ridges, hidden from the busy highways and crowded cities of America. It was the kind of place where everyone knew each other's names, where children rode bicycles down empty streets, and where old men gathered outside the diner every morning to discuss weather forecasts that rarely changed. For decades, Black Hollow had remained untouched by the rush of the modern world. The town had a population of just over 3,000 people. There was a school, a church, a gas station, a grocery store, and a small lake that reflected the surrounding mountains like a mirror. To outsiders, it seemed peaceful. To residents, it was home. No one could have imagined that one ordinary autumn evening would become the last night Black Hollow would ever exist. It began on a Thursday in October. The air was crisp and cold. Orange leaves drifted through the streets as residents prepared for the annual harvest festival. Decorations hung from storefronts. Children practiced songs for the school performance, and farmers delivered pumpkins to the town square. Among the residents was a young journalist named Ethan Parker. He had grown up in Black Hollow and worked for the local newspaper. Though the paper was small, Ethan dreamed of becoming an investigative reporter someday. That afternoon, while interviewing festival organizers, Ethan noticed something strange. Several residents mentioned hearing a loud humming sound coming from the forest during the previous week. At first, Ethan dismissed it. Perhaps it was construction equipment, maybe hunters using generators. But as the day continued, more people brought it up. Some described the sound as electrical. Others said it felt like the ground was vibrating. One elderly woman claimed her windows rattled every night around midnight. Curious, Ethan decided to investigate. That evening, he drove toward the northern forest where most reports originated. The road narrowed as trees surrounded his vehicle. Darkness settled quickly between the towering pines. After driving several miles, Ethan stopped. At first, he heard nothing. Then it came, a low hum. Deep, constant, almost mechanical. The sound seemed to come from somewhere beneath the earth. He stepped out of his truck and listened carefully. The vibration grew stronger. Suddenly his phone screen flickered. The signal disappeared. Then his flashlight dimmed for several seconds before returning to normal. A cold chill ran through him. Whatever was causing the sound was unlike anything he had encountered before. Ethan marked the location and returned home. The next morning, he began researching. Old geological surveys showed abandoned mining tunnels beneath the region. Most had been sealed decades earlier after a series of cave-ins. However, Ethan discovered records indicating that one section of tunnels extended far beyond official maps. The documents ended abruptly. There were no explanations, no closure reports, no follow-up investigations. It was as if the records simply vanished. The discovery bothered him. Later that day, he visited the town library and searched newspaper archives. Buried within yellowed pages from the 1960s, he found a brief article describing unusual government activity near Black Hollow. Several federal vehicles had reportedly arrived in town and remained for weeks. Residents were told a geological study was being conducted. No additional information was ever published. The article ended there. Ethan sensed a story. That evening, he shared his findings with his friend Sarah Collins, the town's deputy sheriff. Sarah listened carefully. "You think this humming is connected to old mining tunnels?" she asked. "Maybe," Ethan replied. "Or maybe something was hidden down there years ago." Sarah laughed. "You've been reading too many conspiracy theories." But even she seemed uneasy. That night the humming returned, stronger than before. Residents across town reported lights flickering. Dogs barked continuously. Several people claimed their televisions turned on by themselves. At exactly 12:17 a.m., Every clock in town stopped for nearly 30 seconds. Then everything returned to normal. The following morning, confusion spread throughout Black Hollow. No one could explain what had happened. Electricians found no faults. Utility companies reported no outages. Scientists from nearby universities dismissed the incidents as coincidence. Yet the strange events continued. 3 nights later, Ethan returned to the forest. This time he brought cameras, recording equipment, and GPS devices. As midnight approached, the humming intensified. The trees seemed to tremble. Birds suddenly erupted from the forest canopy. Then the ground shook. Not like an earthquake. Different, almost rhythmic. Ethan aimed his camera toward a clearing. What happened next would haunt him forever. The earth cracked open. A thin line appeared across the ground. Blue light emerged from beneath the soil. The crack widened slowly. The humming transformed into a deafening roar. Ethan stumbled backward. His camera malfunctioned. The screen filled with static. Then everything went dark. When he regained consciousness, dawn had arrived. His equipment lay scattered around the clearing. The crack was gone. The forest appeared normal. Only a circular burn mark remained on the ground. Ethan rushed back to town. But something felt wrong. The streets were empty. The diner was closed. Cars sat abandoned along roadsides. Front doors stood open. The school parking lot was deserted. A terrible silence hung over Black Hollow. Panic surged through him. He ran from building to building. No one. Not a single person. More than 3,000 residents had disappeared. Overnight. Without a trace. Authorities from neighboring counties arrived within hours. State police established roadblocks. Federal agencies soon followed. Search teams combed forests, lakes, and abandoned mines. Helicopters scanned mountains. Rescue dogs tracked scents that ended abruptly in the middle of streets. No evidence emerged. No bodies. No signs of violence. No evacuation records. Nothing. It was as if the entire population had simply ceased to exist. National news exploded with coverage. Black Hollow became the biggest mystery in the country. Experts proposed countless theories. Mass kidnapping. Chemical disaster. Secret evacuation. Cult activity. None explained how thousands of people vanished simultaneously. Investigators interviewed Ethan extensively. He described the humming, the forest clearing, the blue light. Most officials dismissed his account. Stress, they claimed. Trauma. Possible concussion. Yet Ethan knew what he had seen. Weeks passed. Then months. The mystery deepened. Government agencies classified numerous documents connected to the investigation. Reporters seeking access were denied. Rumors spread across America. Some claimed Black Hollow had been part of a secret military experiment. Others believed a hidden underground facility existed beneath the mountains. Conspiracy theories flourished online. Meanwhile, Ethan refused to stop searching. He became obsessed. Every day he reviewed evidence. Every night he returned to the forest. Eventually, he discovered something extraordinary. While examining old survey maps, he noticed a forgotten tunnel entrance marked on a document from 1958. The entrance did not appear on modern maps. Determined to investigate, he located the site. Dense vegetation concealed the opening. After hours of clearing brush, he uncovered a rusted steel door embedded in rock. The lock had long since corroded. With considerable effort, he forced it open. A tunnel stretched into darkness. Cold air rushed outward. Ethan switched on his flashlight and entered. The passage descended deep underground. Old mining tracks lined the floor. Strange symbols covered sections of the walls. After nearly an hour of walking, he reached a massive chamber. His breath caught. The room contained machinery unlike anything he had ever seen. Gigantic metal structures extended toward the ceiling. Cables disappeared into solid stone. Circular devices surrounded a central platform. Despite decades underground, the equipment appeared intact. More alarming was a collection of documents scattered across control stations. Most bore government seals. Many were marked classified. Ethan carefully examined the papers. What he discovered changed everything. The chamber had been part of a secret project initiated during the Cold War. Scientists had identified unusual energy readings beneath Black Hollow. The source appeared to originate from deep within the Earth. Researchers believed the energy represented a previously unknown phenomenon capable of affecting space and time. For years, experiments were conducted underground. Initial results seemed promising. Objects exposed to concentrated energy occasionally vanished. Some reappeared moments later. Others never returned. As research progressed, scientists became increasingly concerned. Reports described unstable distortions, equipment failures, unexplained disappearances. Eventually, the project was officially terminated, at least according to public records. But hidden documents revealed another truth. Experiments had continued long after cancellation. Researchers became convinced the phenomenon was not merely energy. It appeared to be some kind of doorway, a gateway to an unknown location. The final reports were chilling. Tests indicated the doorway was expanding, slowly, unpredictably. Scientists warned that if left unchecked, the phenomenon could affect the surrounding region, including Black Hollow itself. The last document was dated only 2 days before the town vanished. Its final sentence read, "Containment failure appears imminent." Ethan stared at the words in disbelief. Suddenly, a sound echoed through the chamber. The familiar hum. Low, powerful, growing stronger. Lights flickered across dormant machinery. Dust fell from the ceiling. The central platform began glowing blue. Ethan backed away. The humming intensified. Air swirled around the room. Then a figure appeared. A human silhouette emerged within the blue light. Ethan froze. The figure stepped forward. It was Sarah Collins, the deputy sheriff, the woman who had disappeared along with everyone else. She looked shocked, confused, as if she had only been gone for minutes. "Ethan," she whispered. He could barely speak. "Sarah, where have you been?" Before she could answer, dozens of additional figures materialized behind her. Men, women, children, residents of Black Hollow, all appearing frightened and disoriented. One by one they emerged from the glowing platform, people who had vanished months earlier. To them, almost no time had passed. Sarah later described experiencing a flash of blue light while sitting at home. The next moment she found herself standing in a strange landscape, beneath unfamiliar stars. Thousands of townspeople had appeared there together. Days passed in that place, or at least what felt like days. Then another flash of light returned them. Scientists struggled to explain their accounts. The descriptions shared remarkable consistency, despite being collected independently. Every resident described the same environment, the same sky, the same sense that time behaved differently. Federal authorities immediately secured the underground facility. The chamber was sealed once again. Official statements offered limited details. Most documents remained classified. Although residents returned, many questions were never answered. Where had they gone? What exactly existed beyond the doorway? Why was Black Hollow chosen? No definitive answers emerged. Years later, the town slowly rebuilt. Families returned to normal routines. Businesses reopened. Children grew older. Life continued. Yet reminders of the event remained everywhere. Visitors arrived from around the world seeking answers. Researchers studied the phenomenon endlessly. Books were written. Documentaries produced. The mystery became legend. Ethan eventually published his findings in a best-selling book. Though some criticized his conclusions, many believed he had uncovered the truth behind the disappearance. Still, one detail troubled him. Among the classified documents, he had found references to earlier incidents. Small communities, remote settlements. Locations scattered across different decades. Places where unexplained disappearances had occurred before. Each case involved reports of strange humming sounds, electrical disturbances, missing records, and every investigation ended abruptly, as if someone wanted the truth hidden. One evening, years after Black Hollow's return, Ethan sat on his porch watching the sunset. The town appeared peaceful once more. Children played in nearby yards. Cars passed along quiet streets. Everything seemed normal. Then he heard it, a faint hum drifting from the distant forest. The same sound that had started everything. Low, steady, impossible to ignore. Ethan slowly stood. A chill moved down his spine. Far beyond the trees, a brief flash of blue light illuminated the horizon. Only for a second. Then darkness returned. No alarm sounded. No one else seemed to notice. But Ethan knew. Whatever existed beneath Black Hollow had never truly disappeared. It was still there, waiting. And somewhere beyond human understanding, beyond the boundaries of known reality, a doorway remained open, connecting two worlds in ways no one could fully comprehend. The town that vanished overnight had returned. Its people had come home. Yet the greatest mystery remained unsolved. Because the real story was not how Black Hollow disappeared. The real story was where it had gone, and whether, someday, it might vanish again.